Hello everyone, it's time for another tutorial, and this time I've had a few requests to teach I Just Wasn't Made for These Times by Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys from the famous Pet Sounds album 1966. Let's start off and get these disclaimers out of the way as quickly as possible. This is a complicated song. I have said in several of my last few videos that I don't like dumbing things down in complicated, complex pop songs. And yet for this one, I have no choice but to, not exactly dumb it down, but to simplify things at certain points in the song. That is simply because there's so much going on production-wise in the song that if I really taught you how to play everything that I hear in this song, it becomes kind of almost unplayable. So that's a compliment to the song. It's not an insult to you, the piano player who's trying to learn how to play this. I simply gave up that in hoping that I could preserve every aspect of my arrangement of this song and teach it to you as I play it, because I don't think that's teachable. Having said that, I do not think that you will be disappointed with the arrangement that I'm going to teach you, so please hang in there. This song, as is usual for Brian Wilson, is very unusual in terms of pop song structure, in terms of key center, in terms of harmonic chord progressions, and in terms of just the whole song structure in general. So let's talk about the musical things like the key center. I would say that most of this sort of feels like it's either in B flat major or E flat major, but at least in terms of the notes that we choose from in most of our chords, it's going to be or. The reason I chose those two keys is that those two keys have B flat and E flat in them, and one of the keys has A flat in it. And those tend to be the most common black keys that you will see in this song. You will notice that sometimes it's an A flat, sometimes it's an A natural as we go back and forth. So I know that's a lot of theory gobbledygook, but it's important to say. Also, some of the chords in this don't really belong to those keys. They seem to be borrowed from other chords. Now, Brian Wilson isn't the only composer to do that sort of thing, but my hypothesis is that the way in which he sometimes borrowed chords was a little unusual, especially for pop music, at least the kinds of chords he would borrow and from which keys. Now, song structure. As you may know about pop songs, most pop songs have something like maybe verse, chorus, maybe there's a tag intro at the beginning or something, but it's like verse, chorus, maybe a bridge towards the end, and then that's about it. Well, as you can imagine, this structure is nothing at all like that. This song does start out with a verse and has a second verse before the end. There is a chorus somewhere after each verse, but between the verse and the chorus, I don't know how to explain it. I've heard of songs that have a pre-chorus and then a chorus. This is kind of like that. There's like a verse, a pre-chorus, and then a chorus. The only problem is that the pre-chorus is so long and convoluted and has so many sections. I would almost say that this song, I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, probably has something like a verse, so verse number 1, then pre-chorus number 1, then pre-chorus number 2, then pre-chorus number 3, and then very short chorus, and then verse 2. Now that is unusual. I can't think of any other song that is structured like that. Then after verse 2, we get it again, pre-chorus number 1, pre-chorus number 2, pre-chorus number 3, and then chorus which sort of chops off into a false ending that has a sort of a weird, ethereal, very short bridge that goes back into what sounds like a verse but isn't, and has no words to it, and then a final chorus which is altered. If you're lost, don't feel bad. I certainly was lost when I was trying to figure out what the structure of the song was, and I've been playing this song for many years. It's unusual in many respects, and yet I would go so far as to say it's one of my favorite songs that I've ever played. Easily. All right, let's get started. No more jib-jabbering here. The easiest thing to do would be to show you the left hand first. Left hand for verse 1 starts off on octaves on a C. So here's my C with my thumb. Here's the C with my pinky. Play them together, you get an octave. Hold that for a while, for 2 measures. Then the next one down is B flat, in an octave also. then move down to A flat in an octave, and then G for 2 beats in an octave, moving to F for 2 beats in an octave. So let's review. That's C's in an octave. 1, 2, 3, 4. B flats. 2, 3, 4. A flats. 2, 3, 4. Then G for 2 beats and F for 2 beats. Okay? Then that repeats again, and the second time you don't ever get to the F. You play around on the G for a bit. Let me show you what I mean. C for 4 beats. 2, 3. Then comes B flat again, just like before. 2, 3, 4. A flats, just like before. 2, 3, 4. Then G for 2.5 beats. 1 and 2. Then we jump up an octave to the 2 G's up here. So we were at these G's, we move to these G's and go and 3, 4. That's 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So once again, we just play the G's down here. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay? Let's review all our left hands so far. Pretty simple so far, nothing too tough. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's B flat. Here comes A flat. 2 beats of G and F. Back up to C. 2, 4. B flat. A flat. Here comes our G, then hop up an octave. G, 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 G. That's the verse for the left hand. While we're playing that in the left hand, here is what the right hand is playing. I'll play it for you once first, then I'll break it down and teach you how to play it. So this is the right hand of the verse on its own. 1. 1. 1. And 1. And 1. And 1. And 1. Okay? Those of you who know anything about chords know that some of those chords are a little strange. Some of them are fine, they're normal. So let's go over them. They're each broken chords that sort of go back and forth between one note on the bottom in the thumb and 2 notes on top with the other fingers of your hands. So we've got thumb, 2 notes, thumb, thumb, 2 notes, 2 notes, thumb. So thumb, up, thumb, thumb, up, thumb. All right, and the 2 notes, well, the thumb note for all this first chords are D with the thumb, so it's D. And the 2 other notes with the other parts of our hand, I'm gonna put my pointer finger on F, and at the same time, I'm gonna play pinky on B flat. So together, those sound like this. It's a little awkward, so you might wanna have to turn your wrist a little bit up to get those. Not terrible. So when I go back and forth, it's gonna go like this. Here comes the thumb first, the other 2 notes, F and B flat. Back down to the thumb twice, thumb, thumb. Then these 2 notes again twice, F and B flat. And then back down to thumb. So one measure of the right hand is rest for an 8th note, and then thumb, 2 notes, thumb, thumb, 2 notes, 2 notes, thumb. I'll show that again. Rest, thumb, 2 notes, thumb, thumb, 2 notes, 2 notes, thumb. It might be worth practicing that rhythm with your hand back and forth, da, 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 before you try to play the actual notes, just so you get used to which part of your hand moves when. And if you get used to that pattern, that happens in a number of these verse chords. All of them, I think. So once again, it's like this. D first, then F and B flat. Ready? Thumb first. Let's try that again, just the one measure. So you can think of it as down, up, down, down, up, up, down. And that same pattern of down, up will apply to the next measure and the measure after that. So the next measure starts on the same note for the thumb, D, and then the up notes are going to be 3 notes this time. F for pointer finger, A for middle finger, and C for pinky finger. That's a nice F chord, right? F major chord. So it goes from thumb on D, down, up, down, down, up, up, down. So down, up, down, down, up, up, down. That second measure of the verse is like this. Okay, once again. Okay, So here's our whole right hand of the verse so far. We've only learned 2 right hand measures. This is what it sounds like. Rest, rest. Okay, once again, here's the right hand, 2 measures, and rest. And 2, and 3, and 4, and rest. And 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, next measure, we finally move our thumb somewhere else. We've been playing D forever, now we move it to the E flat. So the down is E flat this time. Okay, and the other 3 notes, the up notes, are totally different. This time we have G flat, and B flat, and C with pinky. So G flat is going to be pointer finger, B flat is going to be ring finger, and pinky is on C. That's our up notes. So down is E flat. Here's the up notes. Up, down, down, up, up, down. Well, that's a little more complicated than the other chord. Let's look at it again, and rest. Okay. So far, let's play our entire right hand that we have so far, 3 measures, and rest. Down, down, up, down. New chord. Down, up, down, down, up, down. Last chord. Down, up, down, down, up, down. Good. Now, it just so happens that the 4th measure of the verse is exactly the same as what we just played in the 2nd measure of the verse. Let's review that. 2nd measure was... So for the right hand, that's just the same thing we did in the 2nd measure. Let's review. 1st measure, down, up, down, down, up, down. Pay attention to the 2nd measure. It's going to come back. Here's the 3rd measure, the weird chord. And 4th measure is the same as 2nd measure. Good. Now we repeat those 4 measures of right hand. We just changed the last one a little bit towards the end of the 4th measure. So here it is again. 2nd time through. Down, down, up, down. 2nd chord. Down, up, down, down, up, down. Weird chord. Okay, now we're going to play 4th measure, which is the same as last time, except it ends differently. Down, up, down, down. Now the up chord changes. It's going to be F, A flat, and B. So here's that 4th measure of the 2nd time through at the end of the verse. Down, down, new chord. Okay. Let's play all of our right hand during this verse. Ready? 1. And rest. And rest. Rest. And rest. 2nd time through. And rest. Think ahead. The ending is going to change in a minute. Rest. Here's 4th measure, different ending. Okay. Every time I said rest, that's more or less almost every time where the left hand changes. So this is what it's like hands together. Notice that my left starts every measure, and then that was the rest during which the right hand, after which the right hand continues. Ready? And. It again. I'm going to add pedal with my right foot just to have it sound a little more authentic. 1, 2, here's the verse. Here we go. messed up that last measure. It should be like this. Okay. Maybe I should play hands together at the verse one more time, just so hopefully I won't mess up this time. 3 and 4. Need to go back and practice that a few times, that's fine. It's not terribly tough. The right hand is a little bit harder than some right hands are. I think the last measure where that might be a little hard. Okay, let's go on to pre-chorus number 1. Pre-chorus number 1. Let's start with left hand again. The first note is octaves on E flat. Okay, so here's the thumb, here's the pinky on E flat. 1 and 2, then a quick hop down to octave B flats down here. So 1 and 2, B flat. Okay, that's a really quick note. 1 and 2. Next note is way back up here to F on octaves. 1 F and then E flat. One more time. E flat, B flat, F, E flat. Okay. Then the beat counting will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then a similar rhythm, we're going to have 2 Ds, 1 and 2, and then 2 Gs, 3 and 4, and that's once again 2 Ds, 1 and 2, and 3 and 4, and here's left hand for pre-chorus 1. Ready, go. Okay, and then it hangs out on this octave G for a long time. It goes like this, 1 and 2, and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, and 3 and 4, and then at the last second you jump up an octave to the G's here. Okay, here's the left hand for all of pre-chorus 1. 1 and 2. That's it, pre-chorus 1. Okay? This is what the right hand plays for pre-chorus 1. It's an interesting sort of broken chord back and forth, rolling back and forth between, last time we started on the bottom of the right hand with the thumb. This time we're going to start in the rest of the hand and come back to the thumb. So it's going to be the opposite direction. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And what are we playing for the up, down for this first chord? Well, you've got pointer finger on D, you've got ring finger on F, and pinky on G. Feels a little tone clustery maybe. So that's your up, is these three notes, D, F, and G. Your down is going to be the B flat with your thumb. So that's what you roll to. After up, you go down to B flat. Okay, it's going to be back and forth between those two. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, like this. Okay. By the way, left hand to that sounds like this. Okay, but we'll leave the left hand out for now while we're learning right hand. Okay, now comes a new up down on a new chord. The up is going to be D, F, and A, and the down is going to be thumb on C. So D is pointer finger, ring finger on F, and pinky finger on A, and thumb on C when it comes to that. So down, up, down. We only get 2 beats of those. So 1 and 2, and then we change to another chord. This time it's pointer finger on F, middle finger on G, and pinky finger on B flat for our up notes. And then the down is thumb on D. We got 2 beats of that. Up, down, up, down. Okay, so let's review. Here is our pre-chorus 1, right hand. Up, down, up, down. Switch chords. Okay, once again. Okay, then the next part we go back to our second chord of up downs and we hang out there for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now we change for the last 2 beats. This up, down is going to be, the up is going to be D, pointer finger, middle finger on F, pinky on A flat. And for the first time we have a B natural in the thumb. Okay? That's the last two beats. Once more, here's the verse for, I'm sorry, not the verse. This is the pre-chorus number 1. Ready, go. Right hand. 3, 4. Okay. Once again, last time, right hand, pre-chorus 1. Ready, go. Okay. Here's what it sounds like hands together. Please note that the left hand rhythm is very different from the right hand rhythm, so working out where they are separate and where they come together may take some time. Be patient with yourself if you can. Pre-chorus 1, ready, go. Want to see it again? 3, 4. Left out one note in the left hand. One more time. Ready, go. Okay. Let's review everything from the beginning. Verse, both hands, and pre-chorus 1, both hands. Okay, now I can't just leave it there. I got to show you pre-chorus number 2, okay? Now our left hand gets really simple for pre-chorus 2. It's pretty much C's on an octave. That means your thumb is on this C, your pinky's on this C. Just keep doing. Every beat gets a C for a long time. It kind of gets stuck there. Let's see how many it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then on the 16th one you add a note, 16 and the G. And then you go to F on octaves, F, then up to C again, C, and then quickly on C, G, like this, 3 and 4, and that's the end of pre-chorus 2 for left hand. I'll show you pre-chorus 2 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pretty easy, huh? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Here it comes. 14, 15, 16. Go to F, C, C, G, C, G. And then we're into pre-chorus number 3. Okay? Easy for the left hand. Okay? Right hand isn't much harder. In fact, it's a slower rhythm than the right hand has been having so far in this song. You also get quarter notes just like left hand. And here are the notes for the right hand chord. We got thumb on, this is pre-chorus 2, right hand. Thumb is on E flat, G, B flat, and D. And this right hand is now lower down in the register, right on top of the left hand. So we're down in this octave now. We're not up here, we're down here. Okay? E flat, G, B flat, and D. You just get quarter notes on that, 2 of them. Next chord changed a little bit. Now we've got F, A, and D, which is a D minor in first inversion. 2 of those. So once again, here's the E flat major chord. 2 of those, back to D minor. Keeps alternating that back and forth for like 3 or 4 measures. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, measure. Now it changes to a new chord for 4 beats, which is G, B flat, and E flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the end of pre-chorus number 2. I'll show it to you again. Here's right hand for pre-chorus 2. E flat major chord, major 7th chord. Ready, go. D minor, first inversion, back and forth. Here's the 3rd measure, 4th measure, and then we go on to the last chord. Okay? This is pre-chorus 2, both hands together. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay? If that's too boring for you, doing what I just did, you can add the occasional, in the left hand, little kick note on G, like that, at the last possible 8th note. I'll show you what I mean. Instead of just 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and. I could do that if you wanted to. That would be fine. This is what it would sound like. Okay, one more time. So far we've done verse 1, we've done pre-chorus 1, and pre-chorus 2. Let's play everything we know so far, and then I'll bring you back in part 2. Hopefully that wasn't too complicated for you. We'll get into pre-chorus 3 and the chorus in the next part, and then we'll put the whole song together. Oh, and the bridge too. Thanks very much. See you soon.